Scaling too quickly on anything or adding new services is pretty dangerous if you're not at a point where you can protect your bottom line. So we made that mistake kind of early. We tried to scale a little too fast. It nearly killed us.
Getting that public feedback on Google to get you more customers can be, super duper valuable.
I mean, direct impact to our organic leads booked. When the reviews go up, we get more leads. I mean, it's undeniable.
Welcome back to the Built Local podcast. Today we have Steven on. Steven, for anybody who doesn't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Steven Ogburn. I'm the general manager and vice president at Ogburn Concrete Leveling and Resurfacing. We're a family business and loving it.
Awesome. So did you just grow up with concrete and resurfacing and all that stuff just in the blood? Was there ever another thought that you're going to do something else, or this is just from day one?
I did try to not follow the family business. I was in restaurants for a long time, managing and bartending. But yeah, I was, as soon as I was old enough to hold a hammer, my dad had me out when appropriate, and summers and all that working. We used to do general contracting, so he was building homes back then and doing additions. But he sucked me back into the construction industry, offered to pay me more than I was making if I would get back in there. So couldn't say no.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, that happens all the time. It's like so common. Even like my friends nowadays have kind of graduated college and they've kind of been working their jobs, and they're all like starting. Their dad's like, "Well, you could come work with me," It's like, why not? More money and work with people you love. But okay, cool. So when did y'all? It's a family-owned business. When did y'all get started?
So the business started in '88, and they were just doing small time mom and pop stuff. When we got into concrete, resurfacing and leveling and all that was about 8 years ago now. And it really changed the business. We went from a relatively small business to a growing business pretty quickly.
That's awesome. So what was the thought process behind switching and going from general contracting to resurfacing and leveling and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, general contracting, you're in people's homes, you're doing a lot of work over a long period of time, a lot of subcontractors, permits, stuff like that. We were good at it, but it is taxing and hard to make money. And kind of my dad and I were both at a point where we weren't sure we wanted to continue along that path. So we were offered the opportunity for concrete repair, and at first we said, no, thank you for your cold call. We're not interested. And then a week later we were like, maybe we should check that out. So
yeah. Okay, cool. So what is that like for somebody that has no experience in the industry? What is it like, learning how to do? Is that stuff y'all kind of had done and dabbled in before in the general contracting space, or did y'all have to go, figure out how it all works and get licensed, or what does that look like?
Right. Because we have a Class A license for general construction, that was able to carry over. So that's nice. And for concrete repair, you don't really need permits. You should have proper licensing. But it was an easy transition from that standpoint. And we had a lot of experience working with concrete contractors and on projects, making sure that things happened the way that we needed them to. So there was some experience there, but it was a concrete repair in and of itself is a very different industry than pouring concrete. So bit of a learning curve. We had some good mentors early on that really helped us learn and grow, and thankful for that.
Yeah, for sure. So how did y'all go from general contracting to kind of focusing down more on this? And so how did that kind of change the marketing, and how did that change the trajectory of the business? Because you said y'all went from kind of a mom and pop to like now we are a growing business. So what were some of the couple things, since most people listening to this would love to be part of a growing business, what were some of the things that happened when y'all made that switch that contributed to that growth?
Yeah, I mean, we had a website. We were doing, Angie's List and Home Advisor, that kind of stuff. Made up the majority of our marketing. We were doing relatively small spends, maybe $10,000, $20,000 a year. Now our marketing is 8 to 12%, depending on what we're doing and new services, all that of our total budget. So, the game is definitely
Changed.
ramped up,
Yeah.
and you go from needing, a few hundred leads a year to needing thousands.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a completely different game. We had to rebuild the website. That's, I would
Mhm.
say, is like step number one, and
Yeah.
then making sure you're on top of all the little pieces of Google, My
Yeah.
Business, all that kind of stuff, getting reviews, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. We maybe had 30, 40 reviews total,
At a
when
time.
we, yeah, over 25, 30 years
Yeah.
of
Yeah, for
business.
sure. For sure. So get a website, pay attention to Google Business Profile. You're doing that, you'll start spending more money on ads, or on marketing in general. And then from there, the business just starts to grow. Did you notice anything when y'all, started to focus kind of more on the concrete side? Did you notice anything with the word of mouth start to kind of grow because everybody knew what you were doing exactly and it was really clear? Or were y'all just able to get a lot more bang for your buck in your advertising to grow so fast?
Yeah, I mean, so having been in business already for almost 30 years, that's a pretty big leg up
Yeah.
in the community. There are a lot of people who knew us, neighborhoods who were familiar with us from other projects.
Yeah.
So that helped. But concrete repair is really about educating a market.
Mhm.
We weren't the first in our area to do it, but
Mhm.
um, I like to think we really kind of pushed the marketing further on that.
Yeah.
So doing some PPC, really working on our organic side,
Yeah.
you know, Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Awesome. Was that something that y'all tried to keep in house and learn how to do it yourselves, or did y'all hire a marketing agency for that stuff in the beginning? What route did y'all go?
We were connected with a marketing agency early on. We've since found another one that's a little bit more aligned with what we're trying to do.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, the Facebook and Instagram game when we first started was a lot easier. Meta has changed some things,
Yeah.
and
Real quick, if you're a local business owner and you want to start getting customers from Google, you know how important Google reviews are. Every week, I talk to business owners just like you across hundreds of industries who know reviews matter, but never seem to have the time or the system in place to actually get them. That's exactly why I've spent the last 2 years building Review Harvest. We built it with a non-tech savvy business owner in mind, so anybody can set it up in minutes and start getting reviews today. It automates the process of getting real reviews from your customers, responding to those reviews, and repurposing them across your website and across your social media platforms. It's a set it and forget it software. You can get it all set up in about 10 minutes and you never have to worry about reviews again. We can integrate into the tools you're already using so you don't have to change a thing. You don't have to train your team on how to request reviews. You don't have to request them manually. You get customers, we get your reviews. It's simple as that. And the first play in our playbook is what we call a review reactivation. You probably have hundreds or thousands of previous customers who loved your service but never left your review. So a lot of times our users can double or even triple their reviews just in the first couple months of working with us when we do that review reactivation.
when that change happened, it was like our leads just plummeted, and
Mm.
now we're working with um, a group that's really helping us out. We're starting to get a flow again of things that are actually turning into sales, which of
Yeah,
course
the goal.
is the goal.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's huge. Well, when it comes to you talked about how concrete repair, a lot of it is education. So how do y'all educate your the clients that y'all work with, either through marketing or even on the job? Like, what do y'all do to kind of differentiate yourself from
Yeah,
maybe the competitors?
totally. I mean, I don't know that we're the only ones doing this, of course, but really capturing as much time lapse photos,
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, grabbing what we can and
Mm-hmm.
making sure that that's highly visible.
Mm-hmm.
And then, making information relevant on our website. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just leave things anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
we came up with a nice description. That's it. No,
Yeah.
with AI and everything, it's like if you're not always producing high value content,
Yeah.
you become irrelevant pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. And then you were talking about like when you are going out to do these jobs, a lot of times are these homeowners, because I'm just thinking like I don't know if you know this, we work with like a lot of poop scoopers, right?
Mhm.
And it's like people that pick up dog poop in people's
Sure.
backyards. And a lot of times people don't even know that service exists. They
Mhm.
don't think that they need it, or they might not want it or need it or whatever. what is it like for y'all's customers? I mean, do they see this and like, hey, I know I need my concrete repaired? Or are they kind of like, hey, I need somebody to take a look at this because there's a massive crack through my driveway? Like, what is that normally like?
Totally. I mean, if it's a safety concern that they have,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably going to call us.
Yeah.
If it's maybe they don't know that
Mm-hmm.
they're actually carrying the liability in a situation if there's a problem. So we don't try to scare people, but we do try to educate the public on, you know, if it's your sidewalk and you own it and it's dangerous, that is something you should maybe consider fixing before it turns into something very unpleasant.
Yeah.
And then how do a lot of these problems happen over time? So it's not like you just look out one day and, oh, my concrete's forcing water towards my house and it's destroying my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen slowly, but educating them on if water is running towards your house, and you have the ability to change that slope and get water away, then that's where we can not only fix a problem, but we can save you a lot of money down the road, making sure you don't have
Preventing it.
more
Yeah.
issues. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. What are some like kind of preventative measures that y'all can take at a home to maybe protect the foundation or the driveway and stuff like that?
Yeah. So the concrete leveling is really about, changing slope, making sure that we know where the water is going now and where we want it to end up. And
Yeah.
it's important to know if it's feasible to do that while lifting concrete. I mean, we also pour concrete. We do crawl space work. We do waterproofing work, drainage, soil spreading. So we started out just in one thing, and because they're all so connected, we're really trying to give people as much as we can an actual solution to a problem, not a band-aid.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and for anybody who doesn't know, like mainly people listening to this own home service businesses. I don't think we have a very big concrete or resurfacing or leveling audience, to be honest. But for anybody to know, how do you even lift concrete? I've seen the videos and stuff
Yeah.
before, or like what is that process like?
Yeah, it's a two-part foam. So like even the chair you're sitting on, if it has a cushion, is probably a two-part foam.
Okay.
So it's polyurethane based. And when you mix an A and an R side, the R side is what's engineered. So the A side's universal to all foam, the foam behind you to absorb sound, that's in everything.
Okay.
And then the R side is what gives it properties. So the foam we're using is hydrophobic, meaning it can just push water out of the way. Um, it spreads at a predictive rate. So we know how far it's going to go and then how much it can lift. So it's drilling holes, injecting with a gun these two liquids, and they mix right at the point of injection, and then they expand and they lift the concrete up. It's kind of like magic.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
crazy. That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I've seen the videos. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because my little brain is just like big concrete, heavy. Can't move. So that's incredible. That is, foam that powerful. That's gonna lift the whole surface.
We've lifted like chimneys, in the middle of somebody's house, just picked up their whole fireplace and chimney. We've lifted slabs with cars on top when people forget to move their vehicles. We're like, can we just lift it anyway? Sure.
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, what are some things that y'all try and do to kind of go above and beyond for your customers and provide an exceptional experience? Because you can see just based off reading some of y'all's reviews, like customers rave about y'all. So, how do y'all try and go above and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. Being very intentional with everybody on staff, that this is the way that we communicate, and we try to communicate basically to the point where it's just a little annoying.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's become industry or everybody's standard, really. If you're not doing that, you're probably under communicating.
Yeah.
And then, resolving issues, because you can't do everything perfect all the time. It's really about, can you show compassion to people? Can you own the gray areas? That's a big thing for us. Like if you're a business owner and you're helping out a homeowner, their ability to solve a problem, if it's a gray area, and our ability to solve it, we have a much higher capability of fixing that gray area. So we try to do things like that.
Dude, that's huge. That's something I've never heard anybody explain it that way, but it's so true. Not just in home service. I think it's the same way for marketing companies working with local business owners. As like that's where my experience is. There is a lot of gray area where like yes, like it's our duty and responsibility to inform to the fact that yes, this might be a great strategy, but here's kind of like the downsides to what could happen because of this, right? And kind of saying, here's some of the downstream effects of it because it's really hard for local business owners and probably homeowners as well to know direct cause and effect, right? They just see, oh, now this is happening over here. They might not think that was from the concrete 2 months ago. I'm not saying that's what it
For
is.
sure.
Just like the gray areas there. I like that, owning the gray areas, because that creates a great customer experience, even if they don't even know that you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're taking responsibility and you're taking that even for something that might not be an issue, or you might not even share with them. So that's incredible. But yeah, so y'all been working with Review Harvest for a couple months now. Y'all connected through a mutual friend. What has your experience been like so far?
Fantastic. So we've tried other things before, but the simplicity and of how you all set everything up, and then the delivery of what it looks like, what it feels like on the other side, I think that has a really exceptional impact. You know, we were getting a lot of surveys back before. Like we worked with a company that specialized in surveys,
Yeah.
and that was really great for internal information, but it really wasn't helping us grow as a business. I wouldn't trade some of that information. I think if you can get some really good surveying done as a business, because sometimes people don't tell you what's wrong. It's either one extreme or the other. And that information in the middle can be vital.
For sure. Oh, 100%. 100%. And I think what's tricky is basically balancing what is most important at the time. It's something that we've talked about a lot internally. It's like, should we offer, because we kind of lead from the reviews and the marketing perspective, right? We want all these happy customers to get you more happy customers because you're ranking high on Google. And I think across both profiles, you've gotten about 30 or 40 or 50 reviews on each profile, something in that ballpark in the last couple
in 2 months. I mean, thrilled.
No, so it's been good, but I do think it's like you have to figure out like whatever you put first is going to be the one that's going to take priority and really get the most amount of conversions. Because anytime you're asking customers to do stuff, the first time you ask them is probably going to be like, if you're asking them to do one thing, like, okay, some people are going to do it. If you ask them to do two things, and you're like, oh, you're not going to get a lot of people to do the second thing, And so playing with the order, and maybe that's something we should implement. Maybe given an NPS or something on the back end after they left a review, or to people that don't leave a review. But yeah, that getting that public feedback on Google to get you more customers can be super duper valuable.
I mean, direct impact to our organic leads booked. When the reviews go up, we get more leads. I mean, it's undeniable.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. It's something that a lot of business owners don't know. They don't know the correlation between the reviews and ranking higher on Google. And actually, they just did an update on kind of what does 2025, 2026 look like for a ranking report. And reviews just went up. Like it was 16% overall weighted across all the 150 factors last year, and it was 21% this year. And so it's gotten even more important. And 21% for one thing in an algorithm with 150 factors is incredible weight. And so it's great to hear that y'all's leads go up from reviews. I'd love to hear that on a video because I'm like, all right, sweet, clip that. Send that to everybody who doesn't believe reviews matter.
I wish I could send everybody the report, but when you track it every month, I mean, it's clear.
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, what are y'all's plans for Ogburn construction? Like what does 2026 look like for y'all? What are some of the next big steps?
Yeah, so we are adding a couple of services in 2026. We just got started in crawl space and waterproofing.
Okay.
So we've done a few jobs, but that's a big area of growth. I haven't connected with you yet on setting that up for review, but we will be doing that. And then we do a product called Vubastone, which is a crushed marble overlay that you put over top of concrete, or you can do it by itself. It's super permeable. Anyway, cool product. But there's also a rubber product that acts kind of the same way, but you can cover almost anything with it. So
wow.
pool decks, pavers, whatever. It creates a nice, cushy surface. Looks great, and
Yeah,
we'll add that to the arsenal.
that's awesome. So what is that called? You said
Rubber stone is the new one we're adding, and then Vuba stone is the crushed marble.
Hey, real quick, before we get back to the video, if you're a local business owner and you're serious about getting more customers from Google, I want to invite you to our free school community linked down below. Inside, you'll get weekly coaching calls where I can personally help you one-on-one so you're never stuck wondering what to do next to get more customers. Once you join, we'll give you a custom-built ranking report to show you exactly how you're ranking against your competitors, and then we'll even show you the next couple things you can do to start ranking higher. We do all of these reports manually to make sure they're done right. You'll get our 50,000 Google review script, the same script we've used to help hundreds of businesses get over 50,000 reviews, showing you what to say, when to request a review, how to follow up and get that review without being annoying or awkward. And you'll even get a step-by-step checklist on how to optimize your Google Business profile to make sure you're ranking at the top of Google. Sometimes just making a few tweaks on that Google Business profile can be the difference between never showing up on Google and dominating your area. All in all, you'll get access to a community of business owners and experts trying to grow their business just like you. It's a safe space to ask questions and get more tailored one-on-one advice. It's 100% free. I don't have a coaching program or a course to sell you. Just click the link down below, join the community. We'd love to see you inside.
okay. That's really cool. And how does that kind of compare to like the epoxy coating side of things? Similar?
Yeah, it's
Different?
rather different. So we don't really use epoxy on exterior stuff because it has a tendency to yellow.
Yeah.
So whenever you use epoxy outside, you have to cover it with something else.
Yeah.
So this is a resin it's a polyurethane resin, but it's UV stable.
Okay.
It gets kind of technical, but
Yeah.
it's rated really, really well for exterior use.
Okay.
So it works great for when people don't want to pour new concrete, but they want it to look brand new and functionally have better attributes than concrete. It's a great product.
Okay, that's awesome. And how have y'all basically gone through the decision-making process of adding more services? I think we see it on most of the time. We talk to business owners who personally feel like they're doing too much, right? But then I do see businesses who are very optimized, make tons of money, and they've strategically added different services, right? So how did y'all basically go through the process of saying, hey, we're going to add X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. Gaps in either customer needs that we can fulfill. I think the hardest part of adding a new service is how are you going to build the team? Right. So for sales, it's not terribly hard to add on another product, but for install crews in the construction space, getting another crew up and running is definitely difficult. So I usually look at where's overlap. Like, is there a crew that's underutilized where we can use them for both for a little while and then kind of train a new crew into existence? Or sometimes contract labor. If we have really good relationships with independent contractors, that sometimes we say, can you do this with us for a year or two? We'll have somebody on site representing us always, and then kind of grow. But I would say like scaling too quickly on anything or adding new services is pretty dangerous if you're not at a point where you can protect your bottom line. So we made that mistake kind of early. We tried to scale a little too fast. It nearly killed us. But I think we've gotten to a point where we're understanding now better, like how do you manage actually to a budget, not just hoping. And now that we're there, we're adding more based on like crawl space and waterproofing. Every time it rained outside, we're like, oh crap, we can't do anything. So it just made sense to add a service where the phone rings when it rains.
For sure. Yeah, no, it makes so much sense. There's so many pressure washing or exterior cleaning companies up north that do Christmas lights do Christmas lights because it's like I've got a full team of people with ladders and vans and trucks, and we can keep them busy with Christmas lights. And so people have like found a good way to manage that there. So yeah, that's super interesting. It's like you said earlier too. I meant to touch on it about how like maybe it communicates just a little bit too much. Like we're the same way. It's like we kind of say if we don't get at least like one person a month that was like wow, you really texted me a lot before this meeting, then we're probably not texting enough,
Sure.
or texting or emailing enough, because we definitely struggle with like the show up rates and stuff like that for us, our business personally. But yeah, just I think keeping the customer in the know and never having them in no man's land is so important, especially in the home service industry especially when you're doing big jobs like y'all.
Yeah, the worst thing they could say about us is that we're annoying. But if you don't communicate and then somebody shows up or catches them by surprise, they're way more annoyed at that.
Yeah, for sure. That
Getting an
earns a
extra call.
negative. That earns maybe a 1-star review if they have no idea what's going on and they feel like they were shafted or something. So that's really good. Well, like I said, mainly home service business owners listening to this, wanting to grow their business. So I always like to kind of end off with maybe one piece of advice you might have for somebody who is trying to grow their business. Maybe they've been hitting some roadblocks. And they're really looking to hit it big in 2026 and have a good year. Or what would you tell them to focus on and do to kind of get through this time?
There's maybe two things I would say. Like, for the longest time, we had issues with our accounting, right?
Yeah.
Where we did our best, we tried to enter everything in correctly, but we weren't on accrual or anything that really showed us what's happening every month. What are we actually making?
Yeah.
Where's this money ending up? Job costing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would say that that's always worth the investment. If you're not sure you have great financials, that to me is probably the first thing.
Yeah.
And then we use EOS to run our business and
Yeah.
entrepreneurial operating system, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you have to use that one. We really like it, but having some sort of structure where you have regular meetings as a leadership team, even if it's not that many people,
Yeah.
and being sure that you're communicating everything throughout the company clearly, really makes people feel like they're working at a place where they can be invested and they have a future, and just being clear and kind always through that, I think makes a big difference.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's great. I think that's like so much of that is part of like becoming a mature business. I feel like I know that I've struggled with and still struggle, and I feel like a lot of people in the home service space struggle with the fact that like, yeah, I got like a high paying job, but if I'm gone, like nothing's happening. It doesn't feel like a real business, right? You just kind of feel like a monkey with 8 hands doing all the different things, and there's not real processes and stuff in place, and it's like, um, you know, solidifying things to become, hey, we got a cadence of meetings, we've got a cadence for reporting, we know how to do our numbers and our books and all that sort of stuff. Like I can always tell, like people like bigger businesses, especially businesses that do bigger jobs and stuff, they mention like job costing and accrual accounting and stuff, and like myself, I'm like, oh geez, I can't even start to think about that, but I know that other people are listening and relating to that. So that's awesome.
To be fair, I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
It's finding people that, for a little while we had an in-house accountant. We couldn't really afford that. So finding a good option to get those things done, clear, good reporting, doesn't have to be super expensive. But it really, at least in terms of our growth and everything, we would be lost without it. We probably would have gone out of business, to be honest.
Yeah. It gives you clear insight and data as to what you can and can't do. It's like, here's where we're at. This is the truth, not just what's went out last month and what came in, because that can be misleading.
Exactly.
I know I've been going off of the what went out and what came in business, but we don't have a lot. We're a software company. We don't have a lot of expenses, so it's not too much of a concern. But anyways, well, Stephen, this was great to have you on. Where's the best place if somebody is in the Virginia area, or they just want to reach out to you? Where's the best place for people to get in touch with y'all?
Yeah, you can call our office. We have excellent people who are happy to talk to you on the phone. It's 804-405-3304. And then you can also email us at info@ogburn.com.
Awesome. Sweet. And we'll have your website and stuff linked down below in the description to make that easy if people want to go straight to the site. But yeah, Stephen, this was great. Thanks so much for hopping on, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Clay. Really appreciate it.